What up, GBG world? Too many times I walk onto a basketball court, everybody's sitting around putting their kicks on, and then they go right into pickup, right into practice, right into the game. This is a mistake. Warming up properly can make you a better basketball player. It's scientifically proven. So we're gonna bring you through a 20-minute warm-up that you can do every single day prior to any on-court activities, and I guarantee that you'll be in less pain and your quality of movement as well as performance is gonna go through the roof. Let's get to it. Yes, we are barefoot. Please bear with me, but it's super important that we get a lot of movement in our big toes, ankles, knees, etc. So best way to do that is barefoot. All right, for the first exercise, we're gonna find a bleacher. Okay, we're gonna bring our feet together as such, okay, about hip width apart. And we're gonna just do this really slow rocking exercise for 30 seconds. All right, y'all ready? And let's get it. Okay, heels are up really high. I'm using the bleacher to kind of support my body weight. I realize that some of us cannot do this without our hands, right? Doesn't really seem possible, so I'm gonna make it possible for you by allowing us to keep our hands on the bleacher, supporting that body weight, okay? And again, the goal is to get a lot of movement through the big toes, through the ankles, through the knees, by unloading the body weight and utilizing this bench. All right, so 30 seconds is up, okay? Now we're gonna evolve the exercise into a little bit more of a strength exercise. We're gonna get in these compressed angles. Hands are still on the bench, and now we're just gonna rock. You guys ready? And go. Okay, we're gonna lift up, get some gas into those quads, and then rock the heels back, and then do a little calf raise there. You see that? Two different motions. Knees forward, hands on bench, lift up. You're gonna feel a big quad strain. Sit the heels back down, or the butt back to the heels. Try and get as flat as you can, and then calf raise. All right, we're gonna do one more, okay? Let the knees drive forward, lift up, send the hips back down to the heels, and then calf raise. Okay, that's good right there. That's nice and juicy right there. Let's go ahead and move into our next exercise, which is gonna involve us moving in our ankle, more specifically, getting the calf length, getting what we call dorsiflexion. All right, so for the first side, we're just gonna get into this front foot elevated position. All right, now all I'm gonna do is pay attention to this bone as it travels forward over the toes. Okay, the goal is to try to get that knee as far forward as possible, and we're just gonna rock forward and back for 30 seconds. You ready? And go. Rock that knee forward, and then coming home. If you can grab, if you have a bleacher here, you're just gonna grab that bleacher, pull yourself forward, really try to drive the knee over the toe, creating as much of a sharp angle here as possible. We're just gonna do this for 30 seconds, okay? Kind of feeling for a little bit of a stretch on the back part of our ankle, maybe lower calf, Achilles area. Again, just trying to encourage as much movement in the ankle. It's 30 there. Watch this now, okay? We're gonna allow the knee to drive into that dorsiflexion as much as possible, and now let's do some calf raises. Okay, so the goal is to try and get the heel up as high as possible, but still drive that knee over toe at the bottom. Lift off, calf raise as high as possible. Attain that really deep dorsiflexion angle. Lift off, high as possible. Attain that dorsiflexion. Last one, okay, 30 seconds total. Lift and relax. Very good, okay? And again, guys, the point, just motion, range of motion. I got my socks and shoes off to really get into these positions as best as I can. We're preparing the tissue for a dynamic sport, basketball. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and do the other side. Starting with the dorsiflex rock. Okay, again, just trying to drive that knee over the toe. 30 seconds, and let's get it. push that knee over that toe. So this side for me, for some reason, is more restricted than the right side. So I'm taking just mental appraisal of that. I'm just taking notes that why my left side is a little more tight than my right. Perhaps because I'm a left foot jumper, that would make sense. So I might spend a little more time here. I might just kind of hang out here, rock my knee side to side, and really try to free up that left side relative to the right. Okay, 30 seconds is up. Now, same thing on the right. Attain that maximal dorsiflexion angle. Let's do a big calf raise. Re-establish big dorsiflexion. Calf raise. Re-establish that big stretch. Again, there's no rush. Okay, we're taking our time. We're paying attention to how our joints feel relative from left to right. And we're getting a lot of range of motion as well as energy into those ranges, right? That's what it's all about. Let's do one more for a last strong rep and time. Very good. So we addressed the big toes, we addressed the ankles, got in some really deep knee flexion, all right? Now we kind of want to introduce a little bit more impact to the lower leg complex, Achilles, calf, etc. So let's do what we call extensive plyos, right? These are very light plyos, again, barefoot, so that we can really introduce some light load, light plyo into that ankle complex. Front foot elevated, okay? We're just going straight up. We call it a credit card vert, okay? We're just literally jumping this high off the ground for 30 seconds. Y'all ready? And let's get it. Okay, so as we create this little bounce, you wanna make sure that you're impacting through the forefoot, not too much on the toes and definitely not on the heel. Okay, balls of the feet. Secondly, the knee maintains rigidity and length. Okay, we want to make sure our knee stays locked out so that all of that force goes into the lower leg, foot, ankle, calf complex. Lastly, vertical, super vertical, nice and tall, foot's right underneath my hip, and I'm basically just springboarding up and down, very low height. Woo, that's 30 right there. So for me, I felt the bottom of my foot, my calf. Everyone's gonna be different, but the point is little small amounts of velocity and impact into the lower leg complex is gonna serve you big justice. Okay, let's switch to the other side. Y'all ready? Let's get it. Good, make sure that we're super tall. The knee is locked out. Nice, quick, short impact. Breathe in if you're not talking to a camera. And again, just creating these mental appraisals of like how I feel. My left side actually isn't as fatigued as my right, which would indicate that my left side is perhaps a little more strong. But nonetheless, 30 seconds is up. Great job, y'all. All right, that sums up our barefoot series. We're gonna put our socks and hooping shoes on, and we're gonna finish the second part of the warm-up. Also, I'd be remiss to say that we have a new program dropping in the GBG Hoops app called Basketball Seasoning 3. And that's built and designed specifically for you guys to maintain your physical dominance off the court so that you can continue to be dominant on the court. Okay, we got our barefoot warm-up in. Now we're gonna warm the quads up because we know that quad tightness actually is a limiting factor and could relate to knee pain. So let's really get into this shape. All right, this is a rear foot elevated split squat shape, but if you notice, I'm not forward, I'm more loaded into our back leg, which means that this quad is not only on length, but it's also on tension. We're gonna spend a minute here, guys. You guys ready? It's a long minute. Let's get to it. Ready and go. All right, so let's talk about this. First and foremost, we wanna make sure that this hip is forward. And what I mean by that, a lot of times you'll see people sit back like this. This is a big mistake because now we have lost the load in our back quad. So really try to focus on pushing that hip forward and you'll feel a big stretch as well as a burn, okay? If you feel that stretch and burn simultaneously, you're doing it right. We're about halfway in, so stay with me. Got the ball in hand. Now let's just do a little bit of rotation, okay? This is just gonna take our mind off of that burn. Just be sure to make sure you keep your hips forward, okay? From there, we're gonna go forward and back with that ball, okay? Don't let that chest come forward, but just let the hands travel forward and back, really trying to get tall here. We're almost there, guys, 8 seconds. Lastly, hold this side to side. Got a deep burn there. Breathe through it. And time. Woo! Okay, I was a little longer than a minute, so I'm really feeling that, but I'm the coach, so I better be able to do this for longer than a minute. All right, did a good job with that. I think it's best to really create a little bit of a buffer in between those because both legs are working. So we're just gonna go wide, give ourselves a little bit of break, and for 30 seconds, we're gonna keep the ball here. We're just gonna shift and rotate. You guys ready? Looks like this, and go. So all I'm doing is just literally shifting my body weight from left to right as I rotate my spine. This one's a lot less stressful, allows us to gain our breath as well as relax that fatigue. Okay, we got about 8 seconds and we're just enjoying this process because we got the other side coming up. All right, y'all ready? Okay, my left foot was back. So now I'm going right side back. And again, it's all about driving that hip forward and leaning back. So I'm in this position, I'm gonna sink, get down, get that back knee low as I can, and I'm gonna start my minute now. Okay, and I'm here with it, nice and tall, thinking about my happy place, how many points I'm gonna score, how many buckets I'm gonna get, and I'm gonna go into my drivers. Just rotate side to side. One of the things that I like to focus on whenever I'm in like an ISO shape or I'm in a really, really stressful position is just breathing. I'll find my breathing, I'll focus on my breathing, and that kind of takes my mind away from that burning sensation. Okay, that was rotation. Now we're forward to back. Super strong, super confident. We're almost there, guys. Got about 10 seconds here. Hold the top, side to side. Hang in there with me. Come on, don't quit. If I can do it, you can do it. 3, 2, 1, and time. Okay, so again, plain and simple. Tight quads equals sore knees. So let's really focus on getting our quad length before we play. Moving on to the more dynamic part of the warm-up because we gotta be dynamic on the court. All you need is a wall because we're gonna implement this very elementary wall sit, but with some really cool GBG elements, all right? So the first thing we're gonna do is find our nice wall sit position, lift the heels, right? And then pick up one leg. From there for 30 seconds, starting now, we're just gonna do little switches. Just like that, trying to maintain the heels being up as I switch from side to side. Okay, and this is going to introduce some pretty high forces into that lower leg as well as knee joint, which is really going to prepare you for the deceleration forces that you occur in the game. 3, 2, 1, time. Very good. Woo! Let me take a couple beats. All right, from there, now we're gonna lean into the wall. For all my sprinters and hoopers that ran track in high school or still do, this is an acceleration shape, as you all know, and we're gonna utilize this shape to put a lot of force into the ankle joint. If you focus in on the ankle joint, a lot of movement there, right? Which means that we can create stiffness. And stiffness is just resisting the heel collapse. So that's what you want to think about. Don't let the heels collapse. Because if we're stiff in this position, when we accelerate to go forward past our ball handler or past our defender, that's gonna be a way more explosive first step. All right, so find that Accel shape. Remember, the ankle wants to be stiff. Don't let the heels collapse. And we're just gonna do boom, boom, pop. Boom, boom, pop, boom, boom, pop, boom, boom, pop, boom, boom, pop, boom, boom, pop. For 30 seconds. You guys ready? Get myself together. I don't know how Beyonce does it. All right, here we go. Okay, and go. So literally, it's a double tap on a single side and then a switch. And a switch just basically means the knees scissor, scissor, scissor. So just find that rhythm. Doesn't have to be fast. You just want to make sure you drop your foot in the same place every time. 5 seconds, guys. Nice and tall. Remember, stiff ankle. Oh, no collapse. Yeah, we're trying to really prepare the body for dynamic movement, for speed and explosiveness. So the warm-up is extremely important for that, right? Last but not least, I'm gonna show y'all my favorite ball handling drill. I'm just playing. That's not what this is. This is just an implement to keep our minds captivated. But it's really speaking to single leg stability, which is very important to reduce ankle sprains, to be strong at the hip, just to be an overall amazing athlete. All right, let's get to it. So everybody knows the single leg RDL. We're just gonna use this to create space in the body to earn more range of motion. So 30 seconds starts now. Bang that RDL shape, and then I'm just gonna go underneath my leg to make me lift my knee up high. See that? So we're just using the ball under the thigh to create a really, really high knee drive. You see that? Because if I don't get my knee high enough, I have to what? Kind of hunch over, and nobody wants to be a hunchback, right? So we want to be super tall as we do this nice knee drive underneath the thigh. That was 30, let's switch sides. Pretty easy, right? Okay, ready? Let's get it. Nice and stable here, little tap. And one thing I'm already taking note of is I'm not balancing that well on my left, but also my right side doesn't get as high as my left side. So, you know, it's just these simple little movement appraisals that we take when we warm up to pay attention to, because there's definitely a reason why that's occurring. And that's the warm up. Now I'm ready to get buckets. Hey! Get to it, GBG.